Hi, my name is Tim and I'm in Valletta in Malta.
I'm sailing on a 2-week cruise around the Mediterranean on Cunard's Queen Victoria, and we are in Valletta in Malta for the day. The ship has docked close to the heart of Valletta, which means we don't need shuttle buses. We can set off on foot and start exploring the centre. It takes a few minutes to stroll along the harbour side, enjoying the view and the sunshine, and then we can exit the cruise terminal. Malta is located in the centre of the Mediterranean between North Africa and Sicily. Valletta is its capital. I've been before, but I'm keen to revisit this glorious city and explore its history and its sights again. If you're not picking up a pre-booked excursion, there are lots of options as you leave the cruise terminal. There are people selling various tours, from mini car tours, there are lots of taxis lined up, or you could even take a horse and carriage tour. In this area, you can find some cafes and souvenir shops if you don't want to stray too far from the ship. I've opted to explore the city on foot independently. There are a few ways you can get into the heart of the city. You could take one of the taxis or the horse-drawn carriages or the other tours available, or if you keep walking, there is a lift for a nominal fee which will take you up to the city level. I've decided to walk, which means following the road up the hillside. It only takes about 5 or 10 minutes to walk along the road up the hill, but when you get to the top there are some steps, so I just want to show you what that looks like in case you have any mobility issues. You can stop and look back and enjoy some nice views of the harbour as you go. When you reach the top, you just cross the road and you will come directly into Valletta's bus station. If you keep walking, you will come to the impressive Triton Fountain. If you turn to your right, you will see the spectacular city gates, in its current incarnation designed by the Italian architect Renzo Piano, providing an entrance through the fortified city walls. Straight in front of you, if you keep walking, you will come to the ruins of the Royal Opera House. Sadly, it took a direct hit from an aerial bombing during World War II. It's now being repurposed by Renzo Piano as an open-air theatre space. You'll now find yourself in the heart of Valletta's bustling street life, with its shops, bars, cafes and restaurants. It's Europe's southernmost capital city, and also at 0.61 square kilometres, it's the smallest capital city in the European Union. As well as the busy areas with its lively street entertainers, there is a network of long, narrow streets which slope up and down to explore. On Republic Street, you will find the Grand Courts of Justice building, built in its neoclassical style between 1965 and 1971. The main feature of the building is its portico with its 6 columns. It stands 7 stories high, with 3 of the floors sitting below street level. It's a popular tourist area, and the day I visited there was a market opposite the Courts of Justice, selling a range of local produce, crafts and souvenirs. If you don't want to walk in the heat, there is a tourist train which takes you through the city to see the main sights. Next, you will see the impressive St. John's Co-Cathedral, the Catholic Cathedral of Valletta, dedicated to St. John the Baptist. Close to the cathedral, you will see the monument commemorating the Great Siege of Malta, with its 3 bronze figures celebrating faith, fortitude and civilization. The square is a lovely place to stop and have a coffee, but in Valletta you're spoilt for choice with the range of restaurants and bars and cafes to stop and have something to eat or to have a cool drink in the shade. One of the prettiest and most photographed streets in Valletta is St. Lucia Street, with its vibrant street scene of cafes and bars and its colourful flags fluttering in the sunshine. It offers a wonderful view to the small Roman Catholic church of St. Lucy. In Republic Square, you can see a statue of Queen Victoria standing outside the National Library of Malta. Sculpted out of marble by the Sicilian artist Giuseppe Valenti, the statue depicts the Queen wearing a shawl of Maltese lace. A little bit further along, you come to the largest square in Valletta, St. George's Square, or otherwise known as Palace Square. The square is home to the Grand Master's Palace, and directly opposite you will see the neoclassical portico-fronted Main Guard building, built by the Order of St. John in 1603. On the palace itself you can see a plaque commemorating the George Cross awarded to Malta by King George VI for its bravery during World War II. Close by you will find a living museum, which is the palace of a 16th century noble Maltese family. The museum is set in a privately owned home, and you can see many of the rooms dressed and some of the traditions of the Maltese nobility. Walking through Valletta's many side streets and exploring is an absolute joy, but you can also jump on one of the city bus tours. Next to visit was St. Paul's Pro-Cathedral, the Anglican cathedral which is part of the Diocese of Europe. The high steeple, standing over 60 metres high, is constructed of Maltese limestone and is a landmark on the Valletta skyline. The cathedral was commissioned by the Dowager Queen Adelaide when she visited Malta in the 19th century and realised there was no place for Anglican worship on the island. The cathedral was designed by the architect William Scamp, and Queen Adelaide laid the foundation stone on the 20th of March 1839. As you stroll around the streets, it's always good to look up at the amazing architecture of the churches, cathedrals and palaces of historic Valletta. Here you can see the stunning Catholic Church of St. Augustine. It was time to stop and have some lunch. Sadly, the traditional Maltese restaurant that had been recommended to us was closed on the afternoon that we visited. We stumbled across this beautiful side street and found a wonderful Sicilian restaurant which didn't disappoint. After a relaxing lunch of beautifully fresh and delicious food and a couple of glasses of local wine, we headed back from this quiet backwater to the main streets of Valletta. We had a very happy time strolling around, doing a bit of shopping and soaking up the atmosphere, and starting to make our way back towards the ship. It's worth noting there is also a hop-on, hop-off bus as another option to explore the sights of Valletta. When we got back to the cruise terminal, there was enough time to have a quick look in the duty-free shop. If you want to pick up a last-minute souvenir or some alcohol or aftershave or perfume, there was quite a good selection on offer. We were soon back on board the ship and getting ready to sail out of the harbour. From the ship, we had a great view of an area called the Valletta waterfront, which is an attractive promenade of old stores and warehouses which have been converted into cafes, bars and restaurants where you can sit and enjoy a meal or a drink overlooking the waterfront. It was fun watching the brightly coloured little wooden water taxis ferrying people back and forth across the harbour. You can take the trip for just a few euros. I couldn't even begin to pronounce the complicated Maltese name for the little boats, but they are often said to be the cousin of the Venetian gondola, as they're quite similar in their design. We had to wait for another cruise ship to leave first, but it was fascinating watching it manoeuvre its way through the tight entrance to the harbour. The Grand Harbour is a natural harbour which has been substantially modified over the years, with docks, wharfs and fortifications. It was of strategic importance for both trade and defence, and was the base of the Order of St. John from 1530 to 1798. The area was the scene of much fighting during the Great Siege of Malta in 1565, when the Ottomans attempted to eject the Order of St. John, but were ultimately defeated. It was after the siege that the city of Valletta blossomed on the northwest peninsula to the harbour, and over the years more and more fortifications and settlements grew around the Grand Harbour. The city was officially recognised as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1980. Here we can see the iconic dome on the skyline of the Basilica of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. As we sail out of the Grand Harbour, we get one last look at Valetta. She might be small in terms of capital cities, but she packs a lot of punch with her beauty, history and culture.
I've had a wonderful time in Valletta on the island of Malta. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to see some more of my travels, please click subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching. Goodbye.